Alright, let's get this party started. I've been asleep, trying to avoid a migraine for 12 hours. Let's have some fun. I did a little bit of farming last night after the stream, so I was experimenting with the Outpost stuff. Alright, but we have a mission for the Vanguard that we gotta complete. 2.
The workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it. But listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier.
Okay.
So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head up there. My relationship with the UC. It's more complicated than it might seem at first glance. The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place.
Okay.
I am a clone of a man named Francois Sanon, one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War, former head of the UC Navy.
Cool.
They called him Ve Victus. Woe to the defeated, in Old Earth Latin. A title he earned. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most respected tacticians.
Interesting.
Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come.
There are other 3 programs still out there?
I'm the last. A few of my siblings, they passed when we were young. Training accidents and the like. But most of the rest were deployed to the front lines during the Colony War, and they never came back.
Okay.
Not a day goes by where I don't think about what the world would look like with them still in it.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't sound like they succeeded securing that legacy.
No. They made a pretty grave miscalculation. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man caused a lot of death on both sides.
Okay.
Freestar Collective and UC. Military and civilians. And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day.
I see.
So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be forewarned.
Hey. Wow, and I thought my family was messed up.
Well, my areas of expertise are pretty specific, but messed up families are up there. You know, while we've got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? I know you got dropped into the middle of this pretty fast. Or if you've got any last-minute business to attend to, now might be a good time.
Well.
No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep us waiting out here. Eye strain from the amount of reading I've got on the horizon if we succeed.
Huh?
The Terramorph project never went anywhere. It couldn't. They're deadly creatures, but they aren't xenoweapons. The cabinet not opening the archives is probably a bigger risk than them handing over the files. That data itself isn't dangerous, which probably wouldn't be a bad point for us to bring up, should the opportunity arise.
Good idea, lady.
Well, thinking about it more, I suspect there'd be value in sharing the fact that the Terramorph project was, well, a failure. There's no need to be afraid of this data being weaponized.
That's
Knowing that should calm some of the cabinet's fears and make it easier for us to dispel any suspicions the other factions might have about our intentions.
Well, yeah, I can't complain because my eyes are red. Am I a clone? Am I the clone of a clone?
That's actually a souvenir from my time on Mars. The Red Devils unit I was a part of, they were founded by recruits who'd worked some of Mars' deepest mines. Folks used to adversity. The dust at those depths, it seeps into everything. The human eye included. Where the name Red Devils came from in the first place. It became an unwritten rite of passage that anyone wanting to enlist with the Devils had to do a stint in the mines before they could join up. The Devils were always talked about in such revered tones during my training, so as soon as I was old enough, I signed up. And the eyes were my parting gift.
Okay, that's actually pretty cool. I like that fact. That's a really neat fact. Anything more about your father?
I mean, we never spent a lot of time together. He was too busy being fleet admiral to deal with kids. I was raised by a pair of guardians instead. Until his defeat during the Colony War, though, he was known as an extremely effective commander. Savvy. Perceptive. That mind opened a lot of doors for him. And for me, too. But Ve Victus, for all his ability, was heartless. Ruthless to a fault. In the end, that's what cost him his life.
I see. Nope, don't have any more questions.
Then I guess it's just a matter of...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the cabinet chambers.
All right.
Sounds like our cue. Here we go.
But before we do, take off this... Well, could I be wearing the uniform of the Vanguard? They are a respected organization. What am I wearing under my Vanguard suit right now? I was trying to channel a bit of Chell and Ellen Ripley here, but let's go back with the Vanguard. I can look respectable. That light change always gets me.
Ah, Captain. Congratulations on joining the ranks of the Vanguard.
Thank you. Nasty. Oh my god, it's just like from Mass Effect. In the Citadel Council chambers, they even have a little podium we stand on.
Ah, welcome. You must be the captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for the risks you faced in securing this information.
Just following orders. Oh yeah, she made it was required the utmost urgency.
Oh, I'm sure she did.
Yes, well, precisely how urgent is what I hope we'll determine here today. So now, we have two petitioners here making a surprising request. Access to the UC Xeno-Warfare Team's Terramorph data, currently housed in the Armistice archives. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all three Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor.
We're still trying to figure out what we're facing. We can't make an informed decision without data.
That is something to consider. Though we also have to take into account the nature of the data you require.
Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, terramorph attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon. They've been happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at best panic. And at worst, a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger and her associates.
I would remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium. I would also ask how many deaths the cabinet requires to act. 50? 50,000? Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we?
Indeed.
And while there should be no doubt the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties, Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this terramorph seem at all alarming to you?
It nearly butt raped me, so yes. It wiped out a colony that never saw it coming. That's... I only know what I was told. Its tissues matched ones from Londinin.
Just taking her word for it as well, then.
So it would seem. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
Yes. If the fear is the data being weaponized, the Terramorph program failed. The data is not dangerous.
It doesn't matter if it can be weaponized or not. The archives need to remain sealed for now. There's no reason to rush into a decision of this magnitude.
That? I hadn't thought of that, Captain.
An excellent point indeed. The other powers would likely be much more inclined to work with us knowing that. Chief Diplomat.
That point is a good one. Very well, you have my agreement. The galaxy is lucky you were here today, Captain.
You and I are in agreement, Chief Diplomat. So, if there are no other objections, I believe we can agree to give our full backing to make the request to... What was that?
Attention.
In a few moments, there's something I'd like to discuss.
Facility lockdown engaged.
Incident. Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport. Terramorphs.
Okay.
Terramorphs. More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God.
There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
The butt parasites are rising.
Time for conjecture later. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. Going to take a while to bring them in.
Well then, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got.
Hey,
You too.
don't call me a
We
tool.
can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there.
You got it.
We'll let them know you're coming, and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
We're on it, ma'am.
And this time I got
Captain,
a
I'm right behind you. Let's get down there.
This time I got a crap load of ammunition. Bring forth the ammunition.
You! The EM rifle, grab it! Now!
Stop! We're trying to help you!
Please! I can't stop!
Oh. So they do have kinky mind control powers. All right.
That's it. Now hit him with...
Stealth EM Equinox. Electromagnetic beams. Oh! EM is non-lethal. Okay, good to know.
Everything you've got.
Electromagnetic energy up the butt.
I don't even need it. Next time.
Lights out.
Oh, so we can do non-lethal. Okay, that's kind of cool.
We were just trying to get them help, but they slipped their restraints.
Uh-oh.
Thank you for what you did. We didn't want to hurt them.
The way those people were acting. I've seen this before. They were under the Terramorph's influence, weren't they?
I don't know. They were down at the port and they just started screaming. We tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them out of harm's way, but some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just started firing on us. People we knew. They went berserk.
Pheromonic projection.
Oh.
Some Terramorphs, they can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control, turn against everyone around them, even if they don't want to. They're like a puppet. You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire, and keep that EM weapon at the ready.
Good to know. Oh yeah, they can control someone's mind?
I'm not suggesting. It's documented behavior. The result of the projection, though, can vary wildly. Some folks just shrug it off. Others hallucinate. And some lose control altogether. They'll lash out at anyone around them, but still be aware while they're doing it. Those cases, you'll either need to knock them out with EM fire, or free them by killing the Terramorph.
Sounds good. Let's rock and roll.
Let's do it.
Nat's unlocked. Please, do what you can to help them.
You got it. Well, good thing I got plenty of shots for this guy, too. Oh, there's... Okay, yeah. Take it easy.
God, no time to waste, Captain. Stash the EM and pull some firepower. Let's move!
An evacuation order has been issued for the spaceport district. All citizens are required to proceed to the nearest shelter.
You might back up. Don't just stand there. Good.
leave anybody. Fuck off. Leave me alone. I have people to murder.
Nothing. That was even easier than I expected.
Tissue sample!
Wait, officer? Are you and this woman experts? Take whatever we can get right now. We've got the remaining creatures locked down on the landing pad, but we're barely holding our perimeter. They said you've done this before. Well, I've got one fire team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more of my men. Put those things down and do it fast. We'll hold them as best we can.
Sounds good. Now we're gonna do this solo. Hopefully there's only one of these dipshits. No, it looks like there's two. Death to the butt parasites!
Where are you?
This is actually kind of creepy and I'm enjoying it. Brown filter intensifies.
You've lost. You're never gonna win. They always win.
Who gives a rat's ass? Fire in the hole! Shuttle.
Join us in this.
No, thank you. You work for Slanesh. Alright, let's reload and do it again. Hang on. Collect some good stuff. Oh, stay far away from that tank. At least they left my ship alone. Bastards. Stay away from the fire.
Is this a new surprise? Let's see how quickly it can be done.
Watch out!
Hey, over here. Please. You have to help me.
And he's dead.
Target down. Nice work, Captain.
It's over. Thank God. If these things reached the populated areas of the city, we would have had an absolute massacre on our hands.
Oh, yeah.
There's something I need to talk to you about.
Sure, what?
Hey, here. I have something for you.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. I picked it up on one of our latest planetary expeditions. I'm more than just an extra gun, you know.
Okay.
I'm just pleased I get to utilize some of my old field collecting skills. It's been a while. Check back with me from time to time after we return from our planetary jaunts. If I pick anything up, it's all yours.
Well, thank you. Yes. Well, now I'm a hero. I am the big hero. I expect big credits, baby.
Guess they weren't kidding about you two. Universe put the right people in the right place.
You got it. You all held the line. You're the heroes, not us.
Certainly doesn't feel like it. I don't want to think what would have happened if you two hadn't been here.
Just glad we could rise to the occasion. Captain, we should report back to the President. Let her know the Terramorphs have been dealt with. Take care of yourself, Sergeant.
Oh, Sergeant, I'll be back for another job with you. Just keep yourself alive, please.
Attention. The spaceport has been secured. Safety precautions remain in place. Please wait for the all-clear signal before exiting your homes. That is all.
That's a relief to hear. Thank you, gentlemen. Let your people all know how much we owe them today.
Yes, ma'am.
Ah, there you are. I believe we have some things we should discuss.
Okay.
Those creatures killed UC citizens. They're not killing anymore.
Captain? Hadrian? It would appear that the Cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city today. As well as an apology. Your concerns about the Terramorphs, well, consider them validated.
Thank you, ma'am.
Of course. I only wish we could have acted sooner. Now, today's events have only clarified our path forward in the eyes of the Cabinet. You will have our full support in collecting the Terramorph data from the archives, as well as a subsequent investigation into the nature of these attacks. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right people in the right places. As such, the Cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective immediately, to your former rank of Major. As soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks and how to stop them. Will you do this?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I'd be honored.
Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed first, we're going to need someone to convince the Freestar Collective and House Varun to play ball. Someone who knows precisely the sorts of dangers the colonies and all the galaxy are facing right now.
Okay.
The cabinet wants you, Captain, to be that representative.
I'm just some Vanguard nobody.
We see your atypical background as a strength, not a hindrance. The people you'll be dealing with, they're rather atypical themselves. In exchange, we're willing to fast-track your citizenship upon collection of the data. So, will you help us?
Ah, sure, why not?
I'm glad to hear it.
I'm not in it for the
Now,
citizenship.
they,
I'm in it for
of
the
course,
adventure!
Won't be sending you in without the proper support. Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your guide on gaining access to the archives. You should be able to find her in her office across the hall. And on behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our thanks. You're dismissed.
The next time Terramorphs rear their ugly heads, the UC is going to be ready.
Sounds good. Yeah. All right. Well,
I'm gonna go check in with Chief Engineer Kulkarni. Start getting a plan together for that data.
all right.
We're on the cutting edge of technology here. It's an exciting place to be.
Well, let's go talk to somebody, AB somebody.
Yassine, these orders. A Vanguard captain. You... Yes, sir. I'll make sure they get what they require.
Hello?
That must make you my Vanguard captain. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second-in-command. I heard you were instrumental in protecting the city from the attack. You have my gratitude. I was also informed that you gave quite the presentation to the cabinet. Chief Yassine wants you to know the Interstellar Affairs Office is fully committed to this endeavor, accessing the Terramorph data and beyond. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure you have the tools you need. And that means first getting you into the archives. You do know what the archives are, correct?
I would assume so. It's where the colonies stashed all of our best weapons technologies after the war.
It was a mutual agreement, but I suppose you touch on the spirit of it. So, you also know then that it was originally managed by the 3 major galactic players. Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency, and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun.
Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people. The ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Varun to hand over their codes. Get them both and you'll have your data. But that's a lot easier said than done.
I'm just gonna need some electrodes, a tooth extractor, and some sodium pentothal. I'll be serious about this one.
I couldn't agree more. However, both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't, work with us. Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate.
And I do mean cooperate. Threats and violence are off the table here.
I'm glad I chose
Though
to take
that
it seriously.
doesn't mean we can't get creative.
But it does mean
I like
you're
this
getting up
woman.
to speed on who you're dealing with. Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar or Ambassador Balmore of House Varun?
Radcliffe? I'm gonna go after Radcliffe because Radcliffe is the character from a D&D campaign. Radcliffe!
The good Ambassador Ratcliffe. She's a veteran of the Colony War, and her only goal in life is to make ours miserable. Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate with her. Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing to convince her to lend her support. And who knows? Maybe that'll work. Stranger things have happened. But my suspicion is we're going to have to rely on other tools to get her code.
I think you're underestimating how delightful I am.
Huh. Well, if that's the case, I'll wait to be pleasantly surprised. But we do have one item up our sleeve. UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the Ambassador's living quarters.
Really?
Which we suspect you can use to your advantage. But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself in an embassy holding cell. So, if you are going to try and access the device, you're going to need to find a way in there without being seen. Now, we recovered some intel we believe should be able to help with that. But there's also a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for information. Maybe even convince to work with you.
Alright, that's all the information I need.
All right. Here, your diplomatic ID. I'll give them a heads up you're on your way. Not likely to let you through the door otherwise. And take these. Chief Yassine wanted you to have some options on how to proceed in there.
Ooh, credits. Alright, Balmore.
Ambassador Balmore's a challenge. When the rest of House Varun retreated into seclusion shortly after the signing of the armistice, Balmore stayed here. He's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests, so there's real hope he might again. Though claiming to know how a member of House Varun thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych eval.
What's wrong with him?
Well, these days, they're primarily considered a security threat. House Varun Zealots, a fundamentalist outshoot of the group that stayed behind when the rest retreated into seclusion, want nothing more than to send everyone not dedicated to their cause to the great serpent in the sky. But that hasn't always been the case. After they ended the Serpent's Crusade about 70 years back, House Varun did take a real run at trying to normalize relations with the rest of the galaxy. It's why they have an embassy here in the first place, why they were included in the armistice negotiations. But then, without warning, they left, leaving behind, to our knowledge, just the ambassador and his duty under the armistice.
Huh. Alright.
It does, but there's a concern. We're not 100% sure Balmore is actually still alive. His public appearances were always rare, but it's been several years now since he last poked his head out. Scans of the facility show life signs, but not the kind we were expecting. Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind him of his duties under the armistice.
What kind of life signs did you detect?
The Varun delegation brought more than a few of their native flora with them when they set up in the embassy.
Oh god, have they like
Some of those
catachans?
plants have been allowed to flourish, making it hard for us to verify what's flora and what's ambassador.
Alright. I'll track him down.
I have no doubt. Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should allow you access. Here, this device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. Once you're inside, though, finding the ambassador is going to be up to you. And fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks. Watch out for automated security in there. Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for a new approach we haven't already discussed, don't hesitate to ask. I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Approach her while the attack is still fresh in her and her staff's mind. Be smart out there, Captain.
I can be smart, but I can also be sexy. Actually, I haven't taken any of those perks yet. No! Let me out. Let me free. You damn functionary. Oh, he's getting in the way of everything. Alright, well.
By the way, Captain, Sergeant Yumi was looking for you. Sounds like he's got more work.
Yumi! Yumi. Hey, anything Yumi wants, I give priority to. I like it, the Yumi. Yumi. Yumi! Where's my favorite boy? I won't exactly go so far as to say Yumi is best girl, but he's damn close. Because you know what they say in the anime weeb community, it takes a real man to be best girl. Sergeant Yumi.
Doctor, how's the investigation going? Find our pup? The whole department is in the process of recovering, myself included. If I'm being honest, I still have nightmares of my team turning on one another. Things can be replaced and wounds can be healed, but building back that trust in each other is going to take time. Luckily, we've built a good culture here, and we hired some new recruits who were inspired by what you did. I've got faith we'll survive this.
And been anything else? How are the day today?
It's a lot of work, as always. People like to say, New Atlantis is the safest city in the settled systems. How hard could your job be? Well, safety doesn't happen by accident. It takes a lot of work and a lot of people.
Oh. Oh, okay.
See you later.
I guess I have to complete my other case, so... That's fine. That's fine. Alright. Let's do that. Uh-oh.
All of our signature dishes are unique to the Roost. You won't find anything like them anywhere. I do hope you are enjoying your time in New Atlantis.
A most unfortunate incident, complicated by the fact that both parties were remediated. While I wasn't privy to the entire argument, Hugo and Octavio had been dining here together for quite some time, so it was surprising to see them at each other's throats. Oh, yes, quite often. They had a usual table over in the far corner, with all the traditional accoutrements. Music, candles, wine. You see where I'm going with this.
Date night.
But this time the two had barely sat down before the argument got heated. Thankfully, security stepped in before anyone got hurt.
Has anyone know about stolen wedding ring?
I wasn't witness to any theft, And both men were wearing rings, if I recall correctly.
Can you describe the patrons?
Well, the one who stayed with UC Security, Octavio, is a shorter man, handsome and refined. His favorite menu item is the Saint, I believe.
Okay.
The other, Hugo Fournier, is a tall, slender gentleman with a French accent. Excellent tipper, well-mannered, but a bit hot-tempered. I assume that would be the slender gentleman, Hugo Fournier. He was the one who excused himself after UC Security arrived. I believe he lives in Athena Tower, although he may be checking out soon. But I would start there.
Okay.
Enjoy the rest of your day.
I think my own parents live in
Did you
Athena
recover
Tower.
okay after that attack at the spaceport?
Yeah, I think my parents actually live.
In business circles, it's considered common wisdom that Sidonia's best.
Yes. Oh, I can't believe that Octavio. That liar, that manipulator, that...
Go on, finish.
That lying, cheating, foul piece of Dawn Glider dropping. If I had my way, I'd tie him to the back of a ship and jump it right into the nearest star. 5 years we were together, half a decade! And he threw it all away for that waiter.
You two were dating?
Not just dating, betrothed. And I have the engagement ring to prove it.
Nope. Is there any chance you two can patch things up?
No. There are some things in life that cannot be repaired. Cheating is his way of saying, I don't love you. And without love, what's the point?
So what exactly happened?
It was supposed to be a romantic dinner. Our last, before we pledged our lives to each other. But an hour before, I decided to do some cleaning to calm my nerves. I picked up a pair of pants he left on the floor, and out falls a napkin from the Dawn's roost with a number written on the back. To think he had the audacity to schedule a date with me at the same restaurant? I was livid! Still, I went to the date and held it together just long enough for the waiter to serve us, then I went off!
Wait, is it possible that he was doing something behind your back in a romantic way?
He would say that, but as far as I'm concerned, it's my property. He gifted it to me when he proposed. It's not his to return.
I'm gonna try for the persuade.
I don't care. I'm not giving it to you.
Yeah, it's only yours if you actually get married.
Is that what the law says? To be honest, I am not sure.
Yeah, stop being stubborn. Just give me the ring.
I am not being...
Defying UC security. Like, what you do? Do you really want to go to jail over this?
True, I don't want to go to prison. I've heard stories and they rarely end well.
Huh?
Fine. I may be extremely agitated, but I want no part of a UC prison. Here.
Thank you! Yumi, Yumi. Coming back to Yumi. You know, if I was probably to ask Yumi if there's anything else going on, if I probably interviewed the other guy, I'd be like, oh yeah, no, like I had something special planned, I had the waiter in on it and everything, and I probably could have patched up their relationship, but you know.
Handle a situation like that. You need to read the room. That makes
Ah, if it isn't my favorite part-time security officer. Ah, perfect. Did you manage to get the ring back?
Here you go.
Excellent. I'm sure the victim will be pleased to know their property has been returned. You acquitted yourself well again. I dare say you might have a knack for police work. Hardly surprising for a captain of the UC Vanguard, but still, impressive nonetheless. Here, take this. It's well deserved.
Yes, give me more credits. Alright, now I think I have a space combat to do, and then we can go talk to the ambassadors. The ambassadors. My god, she's gotten big since I started farming for credits. But she's my baby. Yeah, I still got some work I gotta do on it, though. Just to finish off the look, too, so... Unfortunately, I'm still using a garbage engine, so...
Know when you're ready to launch. We should have a talk. When you have the time, of course. Remember our last conversation, when you told me the artifacts made you feel like you were being pulled across the entire galaxy? Well, it got me thinking. So I dove into our archives and started looking through Constellation's older journal entries. Just because I wasn't familiar with the experience you described, doesn't mean the same might have been true for my predecessor. Really? I'm surprised that I haven't. After reading those journals, all of the pleasant memories of my time spent with Aja just started flooding back. Ah, she absolutely was. Aja was the one that taught me the ropes at Constellation and took me under her wing as her protege.
Maybe she was just trying to keep an eye on the rookie. Yeah, that's true. Must have been quite an honor.
Yeah, I thought so too. That's why I adopted her methods. You know, Aja and I logged quite a few interesting discoveries together. But it was the journey itself that I'll never forget.
I can relate to that.
Exactly. For me, it was all about the quieter moments. There was nothing quite like sitting back and watching space bend while listening to Aja spin vivid stories to fill the time. Oh, I find that sort of cozy isolation the best way to really get to know someone.
Cozy isolation?
Yeah, you know, being alone in interstellar space, nothing but light years of black around you. Some people find that terrifying. I find it comfortable. It helps me bond with my shipmates.
Okay. So I've noticed.
I'll take that as a compliment. Thank you. You know, all this talk about Aja reminds me that my time with her was a gift. I miss her dearly.
Oh, she, did?
No, she retired. Living on Porima 2 now, I think. Come to think of it, if we're ever out that far, perhaps we could pay her a visit, and I could make proper introductions.
I'll do the best I can.
Well, I don't expect you to be a carbon copy of Aja, Just be yourself. You
Oh.
see, it's clear that we share the same hunger to discover what's out there. And that, well, that's what intrigues me about you.
Oh my. Well, if you're wrong, I hope you won't be disappointed. I don't know who, like... I'll go for the flirt.
I don't know if I deserve to be that close to anyone right now. If you knew about the things that I've done, the way my life's unfolded, I think your opinion of me might change. Please, give me some time. I have to go.
Okay. Well, that was unexpected. Actually, before we go do deep cover, I think we have to... Yeah, let's go do that one. Let's go get Barrett back.
And we're off. Achieving orbit now.
Alright.
I will never get tired of that.
Nice.
Gear looks green, ready to land.
All geared up and ready to go.
Captain Alana, greetings. Captain Alana, hello. I have no objections.
I'll get back to what I was doing. You know where to find me.
No problem, Sam. Nah, I don't mind swapping out my weapons. Hang on. Oh.
Do not attempt combat with us. You will not survive.
You tell him, Vasco.
The enemy has vanished.
Whoa! That was a hell of a boost. I need my sniper rifle to get that guy over there. Clear the exterior.
I knew I'd find you. Oh. Just getting started. That's the thing.
That's why I carry a shotty. Because sometimes you friggin' need it. Cheese, that's what I need. Cheese. Can uck. Oh God, VHS. They even have they do have a VHS player. That's terrifying. Yeah, just more stuff to sell later on, because God knows I'm always running short on credits. Thank you, Vasco, for getting in my way. Move on in! Move on in!
Oh, yeah. There's no certainty to the universe at all. Once you really start getting out there, the laws of physics kind of turn into suggestions.
You're pulling my leg again, right? What's the weirdest thing you've seen? No exaggerations this time.
I think. Unicorn. Not kidding.
Wait. The mythical mare with the magic horn thing? Come on. Was King Arthur riding on it too?
Okay, it was more of an extremophile in the vague shape of a horse. But my point still stands. You need an open mind out there. You go into the far reaches of space too tightly wound, your brain is just gonna pop like a soda can.
Well, this man looks like he can talk his way out of anything, so let's interrupt the party. Well, let's loot first, then interrupt the party. An arc welder, okay. Gentlemen?
Holy shit. You actually found me.
Barrett is unharmed. The statistical probability of this scenario has once again defied all known mathematical models.
Well, this is turning into a regular Constellation party, isn't it? I should have brought drinks.
You friends with the pirates?
Matsura the Grim here and I actually have a lot in common.
Both escape artists. Being captured by Sistef myself plenty of times.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Relativity. We're all just creatures of the universe, trying to get away from what's after us.
I don't know why, but yes.
Well, you didn't need to worry too much. Matsura the Grim here is actually a wonderful host.
No reason captivity should be unpleasant.
See, that's what I mean, Matsura. Real considerate.
I have enjoyed our time together, Barrett. But I can't just let you go with nothing to show for it. Is Constellation willing to pay ransom in exchange for this man's freedom?
Yeah, sure, I got 4,000 credits here.
That settles that. Goodbye, Barrett.
No point, this can't be
I have enjoyed our time together.
Likewise, Matsura. Good luck with all the, you know, pirating.
Damn fleet's getting bigger every day. Delgado better not screw us out of our fair share.
So, back to the lodge?
So you were just laughing it up the whole time.
Hey, you're underselling my harrowing escape from certain doom here. A little charm goes a long way when the knives are out.
Alright.
Matsura the Grim? Honestly, a pretty nice guy as far as pirates go. Think I butted heads with his mentor once years back. Had the same kind of surprisingly hospitable vibe.
Did you know I'd end up joining?
Honestly, I was kind of rolling the dice with you. But hey, sometimes a bet pays off.
Alright, let's go.
Okay. Right.
I'm so confused. I just murdered all of his men, walked in here, and he was just like, hey, guys, it's all cool. All right. I suppose. Well, I'm gonna return to the lodge, so...
I do not understand your attachment to all these objects.
Money. That simple, that easy. Money, 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 money. Time to head to the outfitters, and then I can,
Time to leave this place behind.
Anyone out there?
Locked in.
I'm in need of some help. Be very careful. There's a satellite located between those mines. Any explosion will ruin the data. Think you could extract some files? I'll pay you for the work. There is no plan B. So, no pressure.
I'm gonna try this. I don't know how I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna be 100% honest, but okay.
I'm listening.
Okay, so there is actually no way to do a spacewalk. Alright. I forget how big my ship is. Oh, wow.
Okay, hello.
Screw it! Yeah, I prefer from the cockpit view.
Grav drive spinning down. Systems green.
This is United Colonies space. Maintain current course while we scan for contraband. Scan complete. You are cleared to land at New Atlantis. Please enjoy your visit to Jemison.
Alright.
Sorry for the wait, everyone. Got a little held up on Vectera.
Barrett, we were worried sick.
Well, some of us were.
I see what you did there, Walter. And I know you've been secretly crying into your piles of money just waiting for my return.
Actually, Walter has been complaining about you more than usual, which is always a sign when he's worried. Don't start, Country.
Wait, is that? And to think the first artifact was taking up dust on the library shelf. Now look at them all. You feel it a bit, can't you? Ever since I found the second one, had the visions. Being around them is just comforting. So hey, I'm still not 100%, plus I feel guilty dragging you into all of this.
No problem.
Why don't I stick around and help you get adjusted to the weird corners of the universe?
Sure!
Marvelous. What if we leave a few things here and make a second trip?
Wow. Barrett's got ranks in gastronomy. Okay. We'll assign him to the lodge.
By the way, Captain, Sergeant Yumi was looking for you. Sounds like he's got more work.
Fair enough. I actually need to get to the mass station so I can get to the commercial zone so that I can blah da 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 da. I got stuff to sell and money to make. Oh, E.T. Clothiers. Well, maybe I can sell them some mic wrap.
With the consignment shop closed.
Please let me know if I may assist you.
Whoa.
You won't find a larger array of options in all the settled system. Be my guest.
Alright. Let's see what your apparel is. Corpo sleek suit. Formal black suit. Ooh, I like that. Neo City formwear. Green fashionable suit. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, I actually really do like this. white Neo City poncho. I kind of like the poncho look too. That actually looks really, really good. He has 4,500. Well, unfortunately for you, my friend, I have to sell. So. At least I'm underweight again, which is good.
I'll see you again, I'm sure.
I would love to come back for that Sorry. That thing's awesome. I do like the way it looks.
Welcome, Captain. We've been expecting you. You're clear to dock at docking port 1.
Airlock integrity looks good.
Might as well wear my uniform. I have such a big ship now, it's hard to find where everybody is. Okay, there's Sam Cole. Ah.
Yeah, what? Yes? I'm glad you're back. Let's get moving.
There we go.
Sarah! Sarah, good to see you again, my dear friend. I expect to hear some exciting tales when you two return.
I'll try, but I doubt any of them will compare to the spectacular tales that we hear you spin.
Oh my. Okay.
Look at all of this. UC SysDef certainly isn't taking the Crimson Fleet threat lightly.
But I am dissatisfied with the results.
Don't worry, man. I like you. Hey.
Welcome aboard the UC Vigilance. Did you have any questions before I escort you to the commander?
I have a million questions, but they can wait for the commander.
Of course. If you'd follow me, please.
Of course.
So, you're the vanguard that took down that terramorph on Tau Ceti.
And on the planet.
You've made quite an impression around here. Everyone upstairs is talking about it. Damn. That must have been one hell of a firefight. I almost regret missing out on all the fun. Of course, we don't normally see that kind of action on the Vigilance, but we have our moments.
Okay.
All right, Vanguard. Take the lift up to Ops. Commander Akande should be waiting for you. Good luck.
Yeah, excellent. Sarah, you coming?
Hey.
This Def Petty Officer. Okay.
Excuse me.
Yes. I'd like to brief you on the mission, so please, pay attention.
Okay.
Ah, there you are. Commander Kibwe Kande, UC SysDef. Glad to have you aboard. I was beginning to think you were having second thoughts about Commander Tuala's offer.
I'm here to do my best for the United Colonies.
Excellent. Then let's get right to it, shall we? This is the Operations Center of the UC Vigilance. SysDef's nerve center, dedicated to the destruction of the Crimson Fleet.
Alright.
Which is precisely why we're taking a more clandestine approach. We need eyes and ears inside the Crimson Fleet. Someone who can feed us information, evidence, and expose their weaknesses. The catch is that you can't just knock on their front door and ask for an application. Getting inside is going to take some finesse.
Get me in a room with him, I can talk him into anything.
Good. I have just the right place for you to start.
Oh crap.
Our intelligence has managed to find a possible opening into the Crimson Fleet through Saoirse Bowden, one of their contacts. She works for the Trade Authority in Sidonia, so you'll be using a container of Aurora we've loaded on your ship to get her attention.
What? Alright, sounds simple enough.
You better hope so. Saoirse won't be easy to dupe. Once you bluff your way into the Crimson
By the way,
Fleet,
that name that they're saying,
operation
Saoirse,
proceeds
that's
to
Irish.
evidence gathering. That's where my second-in-command, Lieutenant Gillian Toft, comes into the picture. She'll explain everything you need to know.
Point the way and I'll get it done.
Eager to get going? Good. Remember, this entire operation rests on your ability to infiltrate the Crimson Fleet and bring us the evidence we need to take them down.
I'll do my best.
I wouldn't expect any less. Look, before you begin, I want to make something perfectly clear. As an undercover operative for UC SysDef, you'll be expected to follow our code of conduct and ethics. Allow yourself to stray too far off the path, and you stand a good chance of spiraling out of control.
I can stay the course.
That's what I wanted to hear. Anyway, it's time to hand you over to Lieutenant Toft. She'll brief you about the details of the evidence-gathering portion of the operation. Now, get out of here, and good luck. That's easy to answer. You don't. We'll be monitoring your activities from the Vigilance, and attempting to keep it within your vicinity. When you feel you've gathered enough evidence, and at the completion of your assignments, head back here for a debrief.
That's cool.
Beyond that, you're completely on your own. All we know is that she's been with the Trade Authority for years, which means she's been privy to some seriously shady deals. She's shrewd and she's diligent. The only reason we were able to connect her with the Crimson Fleet at all was thanks to an informant. I'm afraid she's the best lead we've got.
All right.
Dismissed.
Can I help? Goodbye.
Well, that's...
Pardon.
Oh, I gotta talk to...
Excuse me.
Lieutenant lady. Good lord, woman, remove that steel rod from your ass. They are way too straight-backed.
All right. We don't have a lot of time, so I need you to listen up.
Okay.
While you're working undercover, it's imperative that you gather as much evidence as possible. If you find any records that look suspicious or incriminating, you bring it to me. Is that understood?
So basically you want me to steal from thieves?
Rationalize it however you like. But that evidence is critical to the success of Commander Akande's operation. I want data slates, computer downloads, handwritten notes. Hell, I'll take anything if it'll get those bastards thrown into the brig. For the sake of the settled systems, I hope you're right. That minor skirmish you had with them on Vectera was nothing compared to the death and destruction those pirates leave behind. If you've seen what I've seen, you'd understand why I'm pushing you so hard.
I'll bring you whatever I can find. I'm no hero. I'm here because it's my duty as a member of the Vanguard.
Yes, of course. And your actions will be duly noted in your records. I'll see to that personally. Speaking of which, that reminds me of something else you need to know.
Ow.
Commander Akande has authorized a credit disbursement for each piece of evidence that you return.
Ooh!
As compensation for your efforts.
I don't need payment to do what's right. It's like what? Like I'm going to prove that I'm a true upstanding citizen.
That's what I told Commander Akande, but he insisted. All right, we've loaded a container of Aurora into your ship's cargo hold. We're also providing you with a sample you can use to tease the goods. We've cleared your ship for launch. Proceed to Sidonia. Make contact with Saoirse Bowden.
I was gonna do the other story
She'll
mission, but considering I'm now
That should
drug
do it.
running, I need
You're
the shit off
dismissed.
my ship as fast as possible.
I'll be here if you have any more questions.
Yeah, we're going right to Sidonia. I need this shit off my ship as fast as possible. I do not need to get caught in a border patrol.
Captain Alana, do you require my...
Yeah, keep the kid and everybody else away from the cargo bay.
Let's get this crate into space.
Ship's detached. We're clear.
Be advised, you are entering United Colony.
Oh, titties!
Please maintain course and prepare to be scanned. Scan complete. Welcome to Mars. You're cleared to land at Sidonia.
They must have sent word ahead.
Landing site is sufficient. Taking the ship down.
One second. All right. Probably be able to make some money here too. Sarah, I don't think you can talk your way out of shit, so I'm gonna take... Much better. Barrett, where are you? No, that's not you. Barrett, where'd you go? I nearly fell down. They really need to fix that. Trip into the armory. Should I? No, I'm gonna be indoors, so I want to keep my shot. I want to keep my shotty.
There's a huge difference between being prepared and carrying too much.
Yeah, lady, I'm trying, okay? But we need credits, and I gotta sell as much as I can get my hands on. Wait, what? Barrett, are you up here? Nope. One problem with having a big ship, I gotta locate my friggin' crew. Barrett's an engineer, though, so maybe he's in the engineering compartments. Hang on. I think he's an engineer. No, he's not here either. Did Barrett go into the infirmary? Or no, not the infirmary. This is, yeah, the central computer.
I'm all ears. Finally, I've been bored out of my skull here.
Okay.
All yours, Barrett. Try to come back in one piece this time?
You got it.
Alright, let's get the hell out of here. Random storage crate. Cool. And then this is the science lab. Ooh, hang on. I didn't want to pick up a foam cup, but okay. Anything I can do... Nope. Alright, let's get out of here and, let's become drug smugglers.
Captain Alana, it is pleasant to see you.
Hang on, let me just take a look at something here. Yeah, I think what I'll do is just because here's the thing, right? Yeah, I think I'll... Or should I throw it across here? Because technically, it's this piece right... Hang on, let me get up here. Technically, the only real structural stability comes from here and here. And I've got the brace in here that I can, that's supposed to be helping to keep these things together, but honestly, I would feel better if the brace were rotated, 90 degrees, so it, and then my fuel tanks are right there, so... I do want to spend some more time working on my ship, because, the ship, as you can see... let me just pop right... on the inside here, it looks a little bit iffy, but when you come out here, you can see it's starting to look well, I'm also missing some of the undercroft here, so... Like, I've sort of got the general shape I want of this ship, but I've got to really find some good ways to fill this thing in and make it look nice. Anyway, off to the Mars area. And I would fast travel, the only issue is that I'm over encumbered, because I'm hoping I can sell off a bunch of crap for more credits, so that I can continue upgrading my ship, because raisins. 1 second. I don't know why it was blinking at me, but okay. I see a station. I see a vendor station. Thank you. Ooh, I might keep that. Oh, I should also keep that EM Equinox, just for, you know... Yeah. Alright, spacesuits. There's mine. Packs. Oh, thank God I can run again. How many credits do I have? 38,000? Not enough.
keep a lookout. Notify us if you see anything suspicious.
Sidonia may be rough around the edges, but it is utterly monumental for humanity.
Alright, before we launch into anything crazy, I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back. Alright, that was a bit longer than I intended to take, but we're back.
This is a courtesy reminder that despite the low gravity on Mars, a fall into Sidonia's lower level is still likely to result in injury or death. Please exercise caution.
If you're here to buy or sell, you might want to talk to Octai. I'm busy.
Yep, she's Irish. I like myself a good Irish lady. I'm looking to unload a sensitive shipment.
And by sensitive, I'm guessing you mean something you don't want UC security sticking their noses into. I can probably help you with that. What have you got for me?
Take a look at this sample.
Aurora, huh? Nice. A little too hot to handle, though. What else you got?
Well, hang on there. We haven't even started to negotiate yet.
I like the man. I thought, well, actually, I want to see if Barrett. Hang on. Oh, you can't just. Oh. I thought the Trade Authority would buy anything.
Oh, yeah. Well, I got some bad news for you, love. This location doesn't buy shit like that when UC security's sitting a stone's throw from the front door. Of course, if there's a finder's fee you're offering, I might, well, bend the rules a little bit. You must be new at this game, love, so I'm gonna let that one slide. In our business, nothing gets done until money is exchanged, even if that means leaving a credit on each and every rung of the ladder as you climb your way up.
That's okay, funny.
You know, it's funny. Suddenly, I do remember someone who might be able to unload that stuff for you.
Glad we could put things into perspective.
There's a buddy of mine who runs with the Crimson Fleet. Goes by the name Adler Kemp. If he isn't passed out, you can find him killing the rest of his brain cells at the Broken Spear. Oh, and it's been a pleasure doing business with you.
Do you need something?
I want to try something here, because I'm pretty sure I quick saved. I actually want to see what Barrett's response would be if I asked about price. Deep cover.
If you're here to buy or sell, you might want to talk to Octai. I'm busy.
I'm looking to unload some sensitive shipment.
And by sensitive, I'm guessing you mean something you don't want UC security sticking their noses into. I can probably help you with that. What have you got for me?
Let's talk price first.
I'm not talking price until I know what the hell I'm buying.
Alright, take a look at the sample.
Aurora, huh? Nice. A little too hot to handle, though. What else you got?
Well, hang on there. We haven't even started to negotiate yet.
I guess the people that told me that you were the best were wrong.
No, they're right. What they didn't tell you is that I have a self-preservation streak a kilometer wide. Of course, if there's a finder's fee you're offering, I might, well, bend the rules a little bit.
This work?
You know, it's funny. Suddenly, I do remember someone who might be able to unload that stuff for you.
Glad we could put things into perspective.
There's a buddy of mine who runs with the Crimson Fleet. Goes by the name Adler Kemp. If he isn't passed out, you can find him killing the rest of his brain cells at the Broken Spear. Oh, and it's been a pleasure doing business with you.
Never mind. Sorry. Thinking of something else. Yes, Captain. Right. Later.
To the Broken... Where is the Broken Spear?
A friend offered me a nice cushy office job, but I'm making double out here in the Sidonia mines. Joke's on them.
Yeah, but you won't live as long with a lot of crap in your lungs.
Unless you're here to serve me another drink, you can turn around and walk away.
Sir Chabot instead you... Oh god, I was about to go Irish.
Hey, why don't you say that a little louder? I don't think every single UC guard in Sidonia heard you.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I think we can help you with this. If you've got a whole shipment of this stuff, you're going to need to move it fast. But you're going to have to do something for us first.
Who's we and us? I thought I was dealing with you.
You're a clever one, aren't you? Let's just say I have a certain influential affiliation. And leave it at that. Basically, you want that Aurora moved, I'm your guy.
Alright. What do you want?
Right down to business. And no small talk. I like it.
That wasn't part of our deal. But I bet you're about to say it's a non-negotiable addendum.
As a matter of fact, yes. Yes, I am. Non-negotiable addendum. I like that. Now listen up, because I'm not going to repeat myself. I need you to deal with a miner who's racked up a bunch of debt. He probably spent it all on booze, not that I blame him. Either way, I want that money back.
How loud do you want this to be?
What do I need to do here? Write you an instruction manual? You can do this loud, you can do this quiet. I don't care. I just want my goddamn money, and I want this guy to remember who he screwed over.
Alright, I'll get it done.
Perfect. His name's Carl Fielding. I think you'll find him wandering around the Deimos miners' quarters. Don't worry, you can't miss him. Just look for the most miserable-looking guy in the entire place.
Alright.
In order to avoid injuries, please report any spills or unsafe conditions on the upper level to the Sidonian Department of Public Works.
See, I got no problem just giving him money. I'll just go and murder a bunch of pirates and then take their gear, sell it off, and, you know.
What a day, huh?
Birds can sing a song only their mate can hear, so they can find each other in large flocks.
Oh, that's pretty cool. I didn't know that.
Something I can help you with?
You, sir?
The crowd singing to me? It's the opposite of romantic.
Adler Kemp. Who the heck is that?
Dude. Adler is serious about this debt, so I suggest you pay
Adler,
quickly.
you said? Nope. I think you have me mixed up with someone else. Look, I'm tired. It's been a long day in the mines. I just want to go home, wash off the dust, and relax. This has been fun, though. Whatever.
Well, I'm sure your funeral will be lovely.
Hey now. Take it easy there. Let me think about that person you mentioned. Adler, was it? Hmm? Oh, wait. You mean that Adler? Yeah, sorry. I thought you were talking about someone else. I told him I'd pay up next week when Deimos cuts our next profit share check. I'll even bring it to him personally. Hmm? Sound good? Yeah?
Pay now, or Deimos will be sending your corpse home in a casket.
Come on! Give me a break! What the... Look, I haven't got a single credit to spare right now. Okay? You can't squeeze blood from a stone. You know? Right?
Technically, there are several natural geologic phenomena that can stimulate the blood effect.
Alright, here's what I'm gonna do. Promise to stop borrowing from him, and I'll pay the debt for you. How's that?
Holy crap. Really? You'd do that for me? Wow. I don't even know what to say. Thank you. For everything. And don't worry. I'll never borrow anything from Adler again. I promise.
What's new?
Yep. But, my friend, just so you know, you are now responsible for the death of probably 100 pirates so that I can recoup my losses. There'll probably be some of Adler Kemp's buddies, so, okay. It's a win-win all the way around. I get to commit murder, you get your debts paid, pirates get to die, which is what they live for. I think I went the wrong way. No, I went the right way.
I could use a break.
Have something for me?
Here, take the money.
There, would you look at that? I knew that bum was holding out on me. He going to be a problem anymore? Or did he get the message?
Oh, he got the message.
Nice, nice. You're kind of a natural at this. Leaning on deadbeats comes easy to you. I like that. You know, if you like this kind of work, I can get you more. A lot more. You think you can handle running with my, associates?
If you think they can handle me.
That's what I'm talking about. I like your style. All right. I'll call ahead and get a hold of Nevamora. She's second to the big boss himself. Head out to Europa. You'll find her there. I suggest you listen to whatever she has to say. Oh, and I've taken care of that Aurora shipment for you too. Don't spend all that cash in one place.
You're handling this whole captain thing really well, you know.
Thank you. Haha, Rook meets
Keep
King.
your eyes peeled for signs of
Rookie.
Terramorph activity.
Rook meets King. Haha, chess reference. And I'm a rookie. Oh boy. I said that twice. Wow. Okay, now that I don't have to worry about the drugs on my ship. Let's go talk to some ambassadors.
Don't pretend to be mad at me. I know you aren't really. I learned that back on Earth, people used to use the stars to navigate. That's so cool. But I guess it only worked because they just lived on one planet. And that sounds boring.
Remind me
Escape
what
sticks
the
to plot.
Taylor was when saw that come. Whether his stargazing landed him.
Orbital insertion done. Time to dance among the stars. One instant. Stars
This is United Colony Space. Maintain your current course while we scan for contraband. and complete. Enjoy your
You don't have time for your nonsense.
If the Lodge wasn't here, I probably wouldn't be here all that often. Don't get me wrong, New Atlantis is lovely. It's just sort of predictable.
Fair enough. Yeah, I haven't been to visit my character's parents in a while.
It's good to be home, right? Okay, scan me.
Scan me, baby.
Every time I see that statue, I feel a little bit more hopeful. Can't really explain why, but I do.
You feel more hopeful at the phallic-shaped metal statue. Okay, sure, why not?
By the way, Captain, Sergeant...
That is convenient, but riding right after eating can give you stomach aches.
Can we run through it one more time?
You can over-rehearse.
Corporation in the settled systems.
One day House Faroon just up and abandoned their embassy. No idea why.
Have you ever heard one of his sermons? They're really good.
Sorry, I need sign-off from the...
War Memorial. We can stop to pay respects, if you'd like.
It could cause an incident. Would mean my job, sir.
Where was the war memorial?
In the process. I don't want to withhold the chance for more red tape from the great UC.
We've come a long way since the war. It's astonishing.
Yeah.
You our visitor? You'll find the ambassador in her office. Go on through.
Oh, I like the look of that rifle, although I suspect that's a sniper rifle. Guards should not be holding a sniper rifle. They should be holding carbines or assault rifles. Like, don't get me wrong.
Visitors are only allowed in the lobby, offices, or conference room. That means you.
I think that's the lawmaker. And I mean, that's a great long barrel, but you want a semi-automatic. You basically want something like what I'm carrying right now. Especially if you're indoors. It's small, it's compact, it's easy to maneuver. Then, of course, there's a shotgun.
Every day that we all keep talking is a day we should celebrate.
I hear that. Wrong one.
Terramorphs? As in more than one? All that security and they still can't protect their own spaceport. The UC never fails to disappoint. I just wish I hadn't received the news from an SSNN broadcast. We have a strategic advantage to maintain, Mr. Long.
Of course, ma'am. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Excuse me. Are you supposed to be in here?
Sounds like it was a real mess down at the spaceport.
I'm sorry. Do you have an appointment?
I'm here on behalf of the United Colonies. We need the Freestar Collective's help. Yeah. Yeah, she's a former... yeah, you and I need to talk, Ambassador.
Ah, you're the one McIntyre called about. The eyewitness. She said you were at the spaceport. You have my thanks for what you did down there, truly. Saved many lives. Now, she also mentioned that, and maybe it was just a bad connection, that now the UC wants terramorph data from the Armistice archives, some of the most highly guarded information in the galaxy, in order to protect us all. I can only presume you're here to tell me I misheard her and that they didn't send you, local hero, to futilely beg on their behalf. Tell me I've got that right.
You heard correctly. We need access to the archives.
I was afraid of that. Let me be frank, Captain. The answer is no. That information is there because it is dangerous. I will not be the one responsible for its release. Now, why don't you quit wasting my time and yours, and go?
Just listen to what I have to say.
You're really gonna push this? All right, I will give you one chance. One, to convince me. Understood.
Thank you, Ambassador. Just hear me out.
I'm listening.
The Terramorph Xenoweapon project was a failure. That knowledge isn't dangerous.
You know that for sure. That is interesting.
You were a soldier. It was your job to protect. That's why, and that's what we intend to do with the data. I have to do it in two I'm going to save that just in case. How many lives are you willing to risk just because you have a grudge against the UC?
It's possible I might be letting my history cloud my judgment. Possibly.
Are you willing to risk more deaths? Because that's what we're going to do by not helping.
The cost of being wrong is a high one. Well, Captain, you make some good points. But if I'm really granting you access, I'm gonna need the following concessions. Your access will be limited. You can only take out the items related to stopping these terramorphs. The monitors will make sure of it. You go in once. You get everything you need on your trip, and never again. And all research done with the data will be monitored. If this data is being used to save the galaxy needs to be involved in the oversight.
You got it.
Freestar scientists will watch your people like hawks.
Why don't we all partner
do we
up?
have an agreement?
Agreed.
Excellent. Follow me.
I knew Radcliffe would be reasonable. Radcliffe always liked me in the D&D game.
They tell me it should only take a moment.
That is so retro.
And there. Here, don't make me regret this, Captain.
All right.
Dusty. Dusty. Let's talk.
Okay.
Hello, Captain. I just wanted to say thanks for the daring rescue back there. I had plans for Matsura, of course, but I appreciate the backup.
Of course. You're welcome. Glad to help out a fellow Constellation member.
It's good to be part of a team, isn't it? Be part of something so much bigger than any one of us. So many things can go wrong out there. Working with people you can trust is important. That's why I've been in Constellation so long. It's good to have people who will help out when you're in a jam.
I'm glad to be part of a team.
Just wait till we get matching shirts and start having official cookie days.
I want cookies. I do like cookies.
They're one of humanity's greatest achievements. Modern medicine, space travel, and cookies. Constellation is quite pro-cookie. Because, you see, we value human accomplishments. Speaking of which, I'm glad you joined Constellation.
Thank you, Barrett.
Just figured I'd mention it, since we haven't had much time to chat before. You know, being a member of Constellation has given me a lot of opportunities, and a fair bit of stress, I'll admit.
Okay.
It's hard to imagine just who I'd be had I never joined up. I would have never done so many things, met so many people. It's mind-boggling how different I would be. And I never would have met Irvin. Or lost him, I suppose.
Is everybody in this group like, oh my god. Who's Irvin?
Irvin Madani was my husband. He was also a brilliant biologist who joined Constellation a couple of years before me. Yes, he's gone now. I remember his bright smiles when I returned from my trips. Wow, more brilliant than any star.
I hope I'm not stirring up any bad memories.
It's not you, Captain. It's just been on my mind. I can't say why. Irvin's been gone for over 20 years. Strange how memories can pop up when you least expect it.
Sorry, Barrett, I don't know what to say.
Well, I'm enjoying my time adventuring with you, and it reminds me of Irvin in a way. We had so many adventures together, and then it suddenly stopped. Maybe part of my mind is trying to remind me of that.
I don't know what to say.
Yeah, don't worry. Logically, I know I should be over it. But I'm not, and it's gotten worse lately. I've ignored my feelings about Irvin's death since it happened. It's time for me to confront it. I'm just fortunate that Constellation has been a supporting home for me since Irvin died. I mean, where else would I get to dodge space pirates and discover new planets? On that note, I think I'd do well to distract myself with a little adventure for a bit.
It's interesting. Of all the companions I have right now, all of them are very old in that, you know, Sarah has been in the lodge for a long time. Did I go up too far? I did. Sarah has been in the lodge for a long time. Irving has been, or Barrett has been in the lodge for a long time. Like, everybody here is just old, and I assume that I'm just young. Which is interesting. Also, I'm gonna go pick up Sarah, because, you know, Sarah.
Hey, you might want this.
Sarah, where are you? Gotta check the engineering bay. There you are.
You've got... Yeah? Yes, yes, absolutely.
Sarah! Sarah, good to see you again, my dear friend. I expect to hear some exciting tales when you two return.
I'll try, but I doubt any of them will compare to the spectacular tales that we hear you spin.
Sure, I've got a minute.
For memories or not, it's good to be home.
Hello, Captain.
And here's your new captain. My crew can take a look at your ship. Sure, have at it.
I think that looks a little bit better. At least now it's a nice smooth access across the top, so we can do all of that. The other thing I can do now, too, is I can take the missile launchers, pull them back here. Nah, screw it. I'll have to figure out what I'm gonna stick in these back areas here, but... Oh, wait. Actually, I do want to get rid of these, because I mean, this thing looks so ungainly, but at the same time...
Everything looks good here. I'll be at my booth if you need me.
At least this thing looks just a little bit more solid now.
I asked my boss what they're doing to stop.
You will be scanned as you enter the city. Please keep moving. Okay, no bounty. You're clear.
Excellent. No bounties.
Wow, you look...
Alright, let's go. Knock on the front door. Ah, the snack god. Snack god. Hmm. Hmm.
This isn't what I expected at all. It appears the flora they were using as decor has overgrown the entire embassy.
Okay. Let's hack it, baby. Yeah. Looks like it'd be good for there. Okay, that one's set for there. So that'll hack that guy. Need to take care of the guy on top. Yeah, I think I got it. There we go. Protect current user. Okay, so the turret should be helping me.
I've never seen a tree like this before in my entire life. It'd actually be more fascinating if its branches weren't blocking our way.
Yeah,
valuable?
just fine. I suppose all this hissing is just, like, the Great Serpent or shit like that. Just get away from that loud friggin'... Really? I just got punched. Trauma pack, nice. Titties. At least I don't hit that hard. Thank Christ for small favors. All right. Okay, let's hold that one out for a bit. You can't fit that one. You can fit that one. But for now, you can fit that one. Okay, so we got our first one locked in. We have our second one locked in. Okay, so that one's locked in already. Okay, because that's the only one that'll fit that, so... Okay, you're slotted in now. Okay, I'm gonna slot you in. Got it. No, it's 10 EXP, so take what you can get, I guess. And we're getting funky in here. Hey, you were supposed to be working for me, bitches.
I didn't stock up on junk.
How close am I to my weight limit? I got 10 more to go. Well, looks like we're going... Looks like we gotta take it careful. Hello, Sarah. You know, since I'm already over friggin' weight. What the hell is a Nova Light? Particle physic beam. Oh, okay. Interesting. I'll have to look into that, but I'm not quite sure what those are.
I don't think we're alone. Goodbye. Let's do this.
that was impolite. Cheese. I need cheese. Oh, demons. Oh, this can only go good places, because we got demons. The screaming demons. I'm not doing another one of those hacks, those things are fucking annoying. Cheese. Why is there no cheese around here? No! I don't want to deal with this shit. Actually, hang on just a second. Am I close enough that I can... Tech... Actually, I need to look at what I can research first. Yeah, I still got a long way to go. Okay. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start doing, Alright, how do I get down into the basement? Alright. Well, I guess I'm doing this.
haven't seen a lock picked that easily since I traveled with Vladimir Sol.
Really? Alright, how do I get into the basement? Oh, there we go. God, I need to boost my carrying capacity. Ow, that hurt.
Come on. Let's see.
So, what seems punishment becomes providence. A reminder we can never truly know the Great Serpent's designs for us.
Makes sense.
You have my thanks, and my apologies for the ordeal you just endured. Come, let us discuss.
Okay.
I think you need to get rid of some of that gear.
Never!
Not the ideal introduction, I suppose, giving you a grand tour of the embassy via barely functioning intercoms. I do greatly appreciate your persistence. I suspect the Venom tree upstairs has worked itself into more systems than I'd realized. But then again, who could cage such a beauty? Tell me though, what is it like outside? I heard the broadcast mentioning an attack. Then the embassy was struck with a power surge and then... silence. Has the rest of the city suffered quite so badly?
Spaceport's in rough shape, but not much else was damaged.
Is that right, huh? I shall need to have these repairs seen to sooner rather than later. Now, it cannot solely be the Serpent's grace that brought you here at such an opportune moment. You were sent by the UC. That much is obvious. Who else could just waltz through my door, And the broadcast spoke of terror morphs at the spaceport. A worrying occurrence, certainly, but coming here of all places, when all I could provide is some enthused cheerleading and...
An archive
an
code.
archive code. So the UC requires information, then. On terror morphs, presumably, Do I see this all clearly?
Yeah, correct. We're going to use the data in the archives to better understand and stop these attacks.
The preservation of life stands as the very purpose of the archives. Using its data to prevent more attacks, there is logic there. But if I am to grant you access, I have a requirement.
Yes.
For years, House Varun has been known only as an agent of slaughter. We founded this embassy with hopes of shedding that legacy, with little success. In exchange for my code, I require this. You must be the one who ensures it is used for good.
Really? Sure,
Ensure
easy.
House Varun's legacy is more than just carnage. The knowledge you ask for isn't evil. No knowledge is. It is we who bend it to evil ends. Oh, you must assure me this will be used to save lives, not endanger them.
You have my word. I'll make sure it's used for good.
As the chair of Constellation, I take personal responsibility in vouching for this woman's integrity. She'll keep her word.
Thank you,
Well
Sarah.
then, I shall not fear. Please, follow me.
Okay.
Let's hope it still works. And there. Let it be used for good.
You got it. Nope. Hey, I'm short on cash, so. Alright, let's do this. Wrong way. Nope. I got lost again, didn't I? Give it a sec while it gets everything caught up here. Wrong way. Actually, before I go nuts, is there anything... Because I picked up, yeah, I'll upgrade to that. I'll hold on to that UC suit, though.
Ryujin Industries is looking for the young, bright minds of the future. Apply today at the nearest kiosk.
Gotta get to my ship, then I should be able to hit the armory, drop off some of the good gear that I want to experiment with, and then after that we can move on with this quest. Come on, bit faster, come on. God, I really need to upgrade my fitness, but, keep hitting the wrong button.
Hello.
The frontier, baby.
To get this ship moving.
No, God no. I just realized I'm going the wrong way. No, actually I was going the right way. Of course. Okay, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I have to drop weight, and then I can sort out my ship later.
Excuse me, what?
Eh? Wait, what? I remember how I designed my ship. I'm pretty sure I'm not lost in my own friggin' ship.
Anything I can help you with, Captain?
Well, I made a bad design decision, apparently. Okay, so how do I get to my quarters now? Okay, first things first, I'm gonna have to climb up here. I made some very poor design decisions when making this ship. Oh, yeah. Okay, hang on. It's falling down! And now I'm gonna get stuck here while those two figure their own shit out.
Hey, Captain. Need help with anything?
If we stop by the waterfall on this trip, I could use a few moments to unwind.
Okay.
You should inspect your ship for heat leeches every couple landings. They'll cause plenty of havoc if left unchecked. And he's your new captain. Sure, have at it.
That still doesn't look so good. No, I didn't want that. Go away. Yeah, because the only other option I have is the stupid wing, and it doesn't do anything. Actually, hang on. Oops. Nah. That's a bit better. I mean, it looks so solid, which, like, it's a fight, you know? It's a fight between getting it to look the way you want and...
Everything looks good here. I'll be at my booth if you need me.
Just looks so big and chunky now. But at least it does look like it's connected. And I do have room to expand. Like, I have room to expand under here, which is nice. Oh, I know what I can... Well, do I really want to? No, you know, just behave. Why am I... Oh, right. I hate myself, chat. I hate myself. There's no way to make this look good. I need to find a new style, a new design style, because he's big, she's bulky, she's awesome, but... Yeah.
You will be scanned as you enter the city. Please keep moving. Okay, no bounty. You're clear.
Ah! I can't leave it alone.
Need some work done? And here's your new cap. Sure, have at it.
I mean, at least now she looks a little bit sleeker, and we've lost a crap load of weight, too, which is important. I do like how those, the radiators, they're sort of like spoilers, yeah. I'm sorry. I know this is boring.
Everything looks good here.
If I'm gonna spend the time to make this ship look like mine, I want it to look at least somewhat cool. Yeah, the vast majority of structural integrity is coming from this part right here, connecting in, and this part right here. And it's good that my shield emitter is sort of huddled up in there, sort of protected, and my fuel tanks are sort of protected on the other side.
You're accounted for. We're ready to depart.
Yeah, there we go. That's the way it's supposed to be. Easy access everywhere. All from the main floor. Perfection. We're good? Okay. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. I had to do that. I just had to fix it. It was pissing me off.
Things for you.
Greetings, Captain.
Kill
You
for a
will
cup
be
of coffee
scanned as
right
you
about
enter
now.
the city. Please keep moving.
Scan me harder, daddy.
Okay, no bounty. You're clear.
Evening, ma'am.
On the record? What response?
I'm told by top officials that happened.
Nice.
Captain, you're back sooner than... Oh, wait. Did you actually succeed? With Radcliffe? And Balmore? We're all in agreement.
Yes. Code pieces from House Faerun and the Freestar collected and ready to be deployed.
So the old man was still lurking around in there. Fine work, Captain. And now, I've already arranged everything with the archival monitors. When you get down there, the UC monitor will give you instructions on how to deploy the codes. Follow them to the letter. Here, the UC code piece and an archival access card. The entrance is just on the other side of the plaza across from Mast. Absolute best behavior down there, all right?
Yeah, sure. Look, I'm just here to save lives from the mind-controlling alien xenomorphs, so... yeah.
Yes? You needed something?
God, like, you walk inside and the lighting is nice and bright, it's white. And you walk back outside and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I've been hit in the face with poop. Everything's gone brown.
At the Battle of Cheyenne by the Freestar Collective's ragtag fleet, both sides decided the time had come to bring the colony war to an end. So, the two parties came together to negotiate.
Cool.
Captain, we've been expecting you. Please approach the monitoring station and we will go over the rules.
Okay.
Welcome, Captain, to the archives. To proceed, you will need to deposit your codes into the 3 corresponding receptacles. Once they are verified, I will open the door. Your data resides in Unit 18. You will not be able to access any of the other units. Once you've collected your data, return to the entrance. You may insert the first of the archival codes when you're ready to begin.
Okay.
You may proceed, Captain.
Cool. Just make sure there's nothing behind it. Good to go. And we are back up. Okay. All right. Now where do I go? Yeah, I know what people are thinking. It's like, wait, aren't you doing the main quest? Well, I mean, main quest is basically so similar to Mass Effect. Touch rock, have vision, see galaxy, go off and be special. This is just sort of like, oh, hey, I stumbled onto a job, and now I go ahead with it, which is kind of cool. Like, I was literally just out doing bitch work, and then I stumbled onto this job, and now I'm like, okay, I'm caught up in a web of intrigue. I'm nobody special, but I just happen to be at the right place at the right time. That's far more interesting to me than, ooh, you special because you touch rock. Yep, wrong way.
What? Oh, sorry.
There you are. Captain? Deputy told me what went down. Impressive work.
Captain, if you'd be willing to transfer the documents to the Major, she and I have been discussing what comes next.
Time for us to start getting some real answers. And figure out if we've been asking the right questions. So whenever you're ready.
Major, you may take possession of the Terramorph data. I made someone a promise, Hadrian. Can you assure me this data will be used for good?
Yes. It will be. Percival and I have done our damage. This is us starting to put some things right. So with the data out of the way, we've been discussing where exactly this work's getting done. The Red Devil's headquarters on Mars, back where you found Percival, seemed the natural spot. Already has the equipment, the safety measures. Though it sounded like the deputy had a few more things she needed to discuss with you first.
Indeed. The most important of which is getting you your citizenship.
Then I guess we'll see you on Mars.
Oh.
Captain, if you'll follow me.
All right. I'm about to become a citizen of the place I was born in.
Howdy.
I got a funny feeling I'm getting a special treatment. Whoa.
All right, Captain. Are you ready to become a citizen of the United Colonies? Good. This isn't the only item we need to discuss, so I'll give you the short version. Please raise your hand. Captain, through your actions today and in days past, you have earned your place among the United Colonies. Through service, bravery, strength, and upholding of the mutual good. Will you carry and cultivate these values for as long as you remain a citizen?
I will.
Then, Captain, I'm pleased to welcome you into the United Colonies as a full citizen. Here, your official ID and your citizenship dispensation. We've also let the Aphelion Realty office out in the plaza know you're approved to purchase property. Now, the other item we needed to discuss. There's a member of the UC who's asked to speak to you, but this person is in a sensitive position.
Okay.
Normally, we wouldn't even consider something like this, but we think this person has information that could prove useful in dealing with the Terramorphs, and they've stated they'll only share it with you. They asked for you by name. So I need your agreement that everything you're about to see is kept in the strictest confidence. You can tell no one. Can you agree to these terms?
Yeah, sure. I shall take it to my grave.
Let's hope it never comes to that. Head to the elevator. You're going to subsection 7. I'll make sure you're cleared for access by the time you get there.
I'm intrigued. Also, I do oh, that's cool. There's a thin glass window. Oh, that is so cool. There's my, oh my god, you can even see my baby. Down there, she's custom made, down there. Oh, that is, okay, I'm happy with that. The rest of the detailing is, who gives a shit, but like, oh, this is so cool. This is cool.
What can I help you with? Yes, have a look.
Oh,
Bye
sealant.
for now.
Alright, time to head to the elevator, because we be going down.
Good one?
Yeah, I am. Apparently I'm important. Subsection 17. All very
I've lived in New Atlantis almost my entire life, and I had no idea this place even existed. The UC certainly excels at keeping secrets.
That it does. A-level clearance required.
Authorized entry, unsealing access. You may proceed down the corridor. But there
There are no additional visitors permitted. Your friend's gonna
When you
have to
have a
wait out here.
moment, I'd like to speak to you.
Welcome, Captain. Please, come down and approach the intercom. You and I should chat.
The devil you know, huh? While I'm sitting down here.
President Abeyo was kind enough to give me a few files to peruse. Quite the series of accomplishments you've managed. But now you face a foe unlike any other. An invisible enemy, lurking in the shadows. You're going to need all the help you can get, which is why I hoped we could speak. Do you know who I am?
You look so familiar. You were in a movie or something. I know it.
Not quite. I'm Francois Sanon, but most know me as Vivictus.
Ah!
I was an admiral during the Colony War. One of its great villains, if you believe the slates. I was to be executed for my crimes, but the previous regime deemed me too valuable to simply discard. So they put me here, a sacrifice on the altar of peace. Even my death served the colonies.
Definitely one of the chattier ghosts I've met, except about what you actually want.
I want to help you, and my progeny Hadrian, prevent more attacks.
What's the catch?
Though I am curious, has she shared with you the nature of our little family?
Yes.
Did she? So willing to trust Hadrian. I never did succeed in driving that out of her. Our relationship has always been a challenging one. The Major was born to become a great leader, carry on the legacy I established, and was given all the finest training to support it.
Mm-hmm.
And she excelled. But the universe cut all that short. Now, though, it's placed even more crucial work in front of the two of you. And I think I have a part to play in helping you accomplish what you've set out to do.
Alright, I'm listening.
After some long years earning the trust of this current regime, the UC has been permitting me to work alongside one of their recovery teams, helping them gather intelligence on, locate, and organize scenarios to lure in some of the criminals that evaded justice after the Colony War. With quite a few successes, I might add. But in the process, I managed to find something else. The names and locations of Hadrian and Percival's old research team. Valuable manpower for the effort you're about to embark on. I'll tell you where they are, but in exchange, I need something dealt with.
Go on.
There is a former colleague of mine, a man by the name of Dr. Reginald Orlaise. Like myself and Hadrian, he was involved in some of the United Colony's more problematic lines of research. Mech weapons were his specialty. If it dealt death, he could make a deal more. When the Colony War ended, he fled, refusing to face tribunal, and has continued to peddle his skills to the highest bidder to this day. But I finally found him. I want you to track him down and deal with him, however you're able. I'm not expecting he'll come quietly. Bring me evidence that the job's done, and I'll tell you what I know.
Done? How about I arrest him and turn him over to the UC?
You can certainly try, but the man's been out there 20 years. He's likely gone feral by now. Easier for all if you simply blow up his ship and be done with it.
I'll consider bringing him to justice.
If that's what you require to sleep at night, so be it. According to my information, he's been hiding around the world of Etheria. Wolf System. There's a star station in the vicinity. The Den. The head of the local vanguard, one Captain Marquez, should be able to help you find our man.
Sounds good. Alright, you know what? We're almost at 4 hours, and I think this is a good place to stop so I can go to bed. Have a good one. See you guys later.